The South Winn Coach Conversation brought to you by Dave's Collision Shop and Becker Hardware. Head coach Jason Ohrt joining us in week number one. You guys fell to Starmont 14-9. What were your main takeaways from the game last Friday?
We let a lot of opportunities get away from us on the offensive end. We had several drives stall out in the red zone area. We settled for 2 field goals, one that we were able to connect on and one that we just missed. So those types of opportunities, you can get away with 1 or 2, but we had around 5 of them where we just, we had really good drives. We were in good position to score, and we just came up empty for a couple different reasons. So that was a big thing. And then we had an injury, and then it kind of caught us off guard with a little bit with some of our specialty issues, in particular our punt team, and we just didn't execute well in that area on Friday night.
And looking at the stat sheet from the game, obviously defensively giving up 14 points. You gave up just around 120 yards of total offense and took the ball away from Starmont a couple of times. Seemed like a pretty good night for your defense. What made that work last Friday?
I'll be honest with you, Darren. I've got a young man, Carter Wentold, played for me not too long ago, his first year coaching. And he's being put in a role to be our defensive coordinator, and he's done an outstanding job. And he's really got these kids playing good defense. He's a teacher. He's going to be a great coach in this profession. I always kind of felt that way when he was a player for me, because he was watching as much film as the coaches were back in the day. So he did a great job, and the kids rallied and responded and played well through him. And we've got, I couldn't ask for a better young man to come into our program and lead these kids in that area. And he's doing an outstanding job. And we've got some kids that have a lot of experience on defense from last year. And I feel like that's going to be a strong suit for us this year. We just got to make sure that we prevent some of those, big plays or mental breakdowns that we had. We gave up two big plays essentially. But, we only gave up like 125 yards total offense. Usually you win those games.
And how much of defense is just selling that mentality, selling that mindset that, hey, we're not going to let you move the ball very easily or score very easily?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like we got the kids to do that. We noticed that in camp, and that some of these guys have really blossomed into their into these roles that we're asking them to play on defense, and with some of that veteran leadership, guys like Parker Tim coming back, and we returned our entire secondary. So our secondary made some big plays with 2 big interceptions. And a lot of those were with kind of like after our offense kind of faltered a little bit. So it was really nice to see them to come out and respond. Brady Ohrt made a big play. Brody T-Scutter made a big play too as well. And so that group, especially that back 4, we rely on them to do a lot for us, but they're capable.
And on the offensive side, what's it going to take to maybe smooth out some of the rough edges you saw in week number 1?
Just finishing those drives, just the crunch time, just understanding that when we're inside the 20, we're scoring, and having that mentality. I just feel like we kind of got a little complacent. And myself, maybe with some of the play calls, you could always look back and say, maybe I should have called something a little different. But everything's designed to score, right? So we just got to go out there and execute, and we just got to want to win those battles in those high pressure situations. We talked about that with our kids this week.
And this week, you got North Butler and the Bearcats coming to town. They had a easy victory in week number 1. What impressed you about them looking at that film?
It's a hard tape to evaluate, honestly. They didn't show a lot, and so we're really going to have to try and prepare for maybe things that they did last year. With some of the film exchange we did from last year. But they didn't have to show a lot. So it's a really hard, difficult prep just from that aspect. But they've got a couple of good backs that they can get the ball to. They're kind of built a lot like us. They don't have a lot of really big kids, but they got a lot of tall and lean kids like we do. and they want to run the football, and they're pretty good at it. So we got a tough task ahead of us up front on defense. Our 5-man line has to have a great game, period. If we struggle up front on defense, then they're going to be able to get first downs and extend drives and put us in a difficult position and force us to have to maybe get out of our comfort zone on offense. So I really feel like if we come out and finish some of those drives that we weren't able to finish last Friday, we're going to be in good shape.
All right, Coach, hopefully you can get back on the winning track this week. Keep kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate the time.
Jason Ohrt, head coach of the South Winn Warriors, brought to you by Dave's Collision Shop and Becker Hardware.